What's up guys, Rui here and welcome back to the channel. Finally back from South Korea after the past 2 months, and while there are a lot of things to unpack from that trip, Acronym announced their latest collaboration with Asus ROG for the second time, releasing the RMT02 laptop. And as a proud owner of the previous RMT01 laptop, I just thought it would be a great way to check out the new collaboration by taking a look at its past. So in today's video, we will be trying to understand what this whole collaboration is trying to do, because it is a very extensive one, as well as taking a look at how the RMT01 has held up after all these years. But before we continue to dive further into today's video, it would be very much appreciated if you go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below if you are new to the channel or just haven't been subscribed yet. Also, if you guys are feeling generous and want to help support the channel in a much bigger way, I do have a Patreon page whereby at its lowest tier, it is only $1 a month. And all of it will go into helping me to pick up new filming equipment so that I can continue to improve the qualities of the videos for you all, as well as helping keep the lights on this channel. The collaboration between Asus ROG and Acronym was first announced all the way back in early Q4 of 2020, and while the collaboration between designer brands and tech companies isn't anything new, the scale of this collaboration felt like it was taken to a whole new level, but I think most importantly one that makes so much sense in my opinion, and I'll get to that in a minute. In very Acronym fashion, this collaboration isn't just about slapping two brand names on a single product and calling it a day. Acronym has always been a brand that tries to push the boundaries in everything they do, and this is no different. Over on the product side of things, Arison, co-founder of Acronym, brought in David Rudnick to work on redesigning the look of the Asus Zephyrus G14 laptop, giving birth to the first reality modeling tool, or better known as the RMT01. Now, prior to the release of the laptop and the entire ARG campaign was made, they left fans with a lot of cryptic clues that they had to decipher, which reveals a secret meetup location whereby a mysterious car was waiting to drop off the very first few RMT01 laptops to the chosen winners. This is only the beginning of the rabbit hole, because the laptop was just the physical embodiment of this collaboration, as there was something even bigger being planned over on the digital side. Taking a closer look at the laptop, besides the very unique design, there are also a bunch of graphical text and logos found at the back of it, and from an outside perspective it may just look like a bunch of make-believe's logo, but each of it actually represents a very important component that makes up the world building of this collaboration. Through their partnership with Asus ROG, Acronym looks to be trying to create a super collaborative platform that enables them to invite creatives from all across the different industries to come together and form something called work group, which enables them to be able to work alongside each other, alongside sharing their specialties to create something that is so much bigger. Looking back at the brand's history, they have always been very open to working alongside creatives outside the fashion industry. From music to arts, the brand has always tried to bring in different creative elements into their brand identity. In fact, if we were to go all the way back to one of their very first products, the Kit 1, that was released all the way back in the early 2000s, it wasn't just about showcasing some of the most advanced technical garments at the time, but it also came with 2 CD-ROMs, and one being a music soundtrack, and the other was for a software called The Brain, which 20 years later, they brought it back again to play a vital role in this collaboration. Put it simply, it is a visual organization tool created by Arison's brother Harlem Hugh that allows you to create different projects and map them out in a truly non-linear format called Brains. Now, coming back to the collaboration, in addition to the laptop, we were also introduced to Axonet, that acts as an information sharing hub among workgroup members, which can be accessed through the Brain software, and owners of the RMT01 and selected people are granted special access to the Axonet Brain file that was stored inside a USB stick necklace that came alongside the laptop. Through Axonet, teasers were soon shared that revealed an Acronym curated online group exhibition known as Sky Any Color. The project aims to bring together a diverse range of global creatives with the express purpose of exploring humanity's increasingly complex relationship with the future. Over 50 artists and designers were introduced to form smaller breakout teams, each choosing their own format. This online exhibition encompasses so many different forms of creative work, from music to films, animation, digital artwork, and remember that mysterious car that delivered the RMT01 to the selected winners? Well, it's actually called the Moby X, and it's one of the many exhibition's pieces. The entire exhibition is still up online, and I highly urge you guys to go ahead and check it out if you haven't already, just to grasp at the scale of what they were able to achieve through this collaboration. And I feel like that is the beauty behind a collaboration. It isn't just about how two names come together, but more towards how they are able to share ideas and resources to create something that is very unique, which otherwise could not have been done without the other party. Which is why I felt this collaboration makes so much sense, because in many ways it doesn't feel like a side project for Acronym, but more towards an evolution that was needed to continue pushing the boundaries and limitations of what they have been trying to achieve for the past 20 years. Putting specs and performance aside for now, this is seriously still one of the most beautifully designed laptops even in 2023, and I personally think that it actually looks better than the RMT02. While initially many kind of expected that an Acronym designed laptop would look super futuristic and cyberpunky, it kind of went almost the opposite route with this one. Firstly, I just love how stealthy this laptop can be. When close, it just looks like any other corporate laptops out there, and I appreciate how they hide most of the branding, giving it a much cleaner aesthetic. Also, one of my favorite details here is that metal plate on the side with the tri logos just makes it look so incredibly classy. Furthermore, unlike a standard G14, the lid has a much more uniform look as the perspiration holes run across the entire lid instead of a rhombus shape. This is to help conceal the enemy matrix LED lights better, which is a custom display feature that was first introduced by Asus ROG in G14 laptops. Besides some exclusive enemy designs, the LED are also replaced with an almost sakura pink color instead of white, and I think it matches the vibe of the laptop so incredibly well. Flipping the laptop, as mentioned in the beginning of the video, it is at the back where they place most of the branding and graphic design. Opening the laptop, you are greeted with arguably one of the most interesting keyboard designs out there. For the keycap color schemes, instead of going for a more artificial bright neon colors that most gaming laptops tend to go for, they went for more natural shades, which results in something that looks very calm and zen. Now I have to admit, at first it does look very strange to me, but the more I get to understand the philosophy behind it, the more I start to appreciate and love the design. To top it all off, the fonts on the keyboard were custom typeface designed specifically for the RMT01 by David Running and Arison himself. Now, I'm not a typeface expert by any stretch of imagination, but I just think they look so clean and elegant at the same time. I won't go super in depth behind all the design philosophy of the laptop, as there already is an amazing video done by Justin, who had the pleasure to interview David Running and Arison themselves. I highly recommend you guys to check that video out because it will give you a lot more understanding and perspective behind the design of the RMT01. Besides that, I absolutely love the 14-inch form factor. It's super compact while still providing a good enough screen real estate for all my work and weighs in at only 3.75 pounds or 1.7 kilograms, making it such a great travel companion. Whether it be for traveling or casual work days in a cafe, this is an absolute unit to carry around. So going into 3 years since its release, how has the RMT01 held up after all these years? Now take it with a grain of salt here because I did not own this laptop on day one, as it was around $2,500 US. There was no way I could have afforded it. I was very fortunate and lucky enough to have found a used model last year for more than half off, so I could only speak on it based on a second-hand user. Although when the specs were first announced, I think a lot of people were having very mixed feelings regarding it, and mainly it was due to the very weird CPU and GPU combo. At the time of release, the AMD Ryzen 9 4900HS was arguably the most powerful CPU you could have in a laptop. However, it was paired with a RTX 2060 graphics card. While it is still a pretty decent performing card, it was towards the end of its product cycle, and seeing that 30 series graphic cards were already available in laptop markets, a lot of people were kind of expecting something much more powerful considering its price tag. Now, would I have preferred to see a 30 series graphic card inside here? Absolutely, but I personally feel it would not have benefited much considering the small chassis of the G14, as even with the RTX 2060 graphic card, it does suffer from very high thermal temperatures, especially when it comes to more heavy duty tasks. That being said, the RTX 2060 graphic card is still holding up pretty well even in 2023. Granted, I don't play the latest AAA titles, but so far I'm able to play the games in my Steam library without much issue. For esports titles and casual indie games, you should be able to run them at max setting without breaking a sweat. Also, something to note is that while the G14 is essentially a gaming laptop, the intention behind the RMT01 isn't just about gaming. It's meant to cater towards the need of various creatives out there. From photographers to video editors to music producers, the specs of the RMT01 is more intended for creative work. That is why this is the only model that comes with 32 gigs of RAM, as well as it does offer a high resolution screen instead of a faster refresh one. Prior to this laptop, I was using a 2016 Alienware 15R3, and as much as I have tried to prolong its lifespan by upgrading the RAM and swapping in new SSDs, the i7-6700HQ and GTX 1060 inside of it is the main bottleneck, especially when it comes to video editing, which is mainly what I do right now. Therefore, upgrading to the RMT01 was still a super huge jump in performance for me. Over on the video editing side of things, this handles any 1080p edits without any hiccups, but I would say for 4K edits, it still does suffer from playbacks quite often. However, it truly shines when it comes to rendering, and my god is it blazing fast. Taking a look at the RMT02, unfortunately I do not have the hookup to be able to review the laptop firsthand, therefore I could only speak on it based on pictures and videos that I've seen online. However, I feel like overall this is kind of the laptop that everyone was expecting the RMT01 to be, considering what it's bringing to the table. After almost 2 years in production, this is a completely different type of beast. The RMT02 is a redesign of the Asus ROG Flow Z13, which is a 13-inch hybrid gaming tablet. For all you spec nerds out there, this is an absolute beast of a machine. Rocking an Intel Core i9 paired with an NVIDIA RTX 4070 graphics card alongside 32 gigs of RAM, it will probably chew through anything, and if that is still not enough power for you, there is an additional proprietary external GPU dock that you could purchase separately, which comes with an RTX 4090. Visually, I think it looks incredibly insane with the custom CNC milled aluminum alloy chassis that actually is designed by industrial designer and feature film concept artist Phil Saunders, who is best known for designing the iconic Iron Man suits for Marvel Studios. Everything from the included detachable keyboard, stylus, and charging brick has also been given the Acronym treatment. If all that is still not Acronym enough for you, there's even a small pouch included that you can use to store your charging brick and other accessories. While the overall package does seem very out of this world, it isn't all just about aesthetics, because much of the chassis design do actually serve a purpose. In a recent article that was released by Core77, we got to understand firsthand from Phil Saunders himself regarding the design of the RMT02. The concept started from wanting to rethink how we use and interact with a tablet on the go, and one thing that came up was how although it's a portable device, there's this intermediate interface between having to take it out and putting it back into our bags every time we want to use it. Like it or not, this creates some limitation and friction in terms of how we interact with our tablets. And the thought here is that with how connected we are to the internet, why not have a very powerful device like a tablet that we can access in a much more seamless manner? Thus came about this idea to make the device its own bag. The integrated carrier system is a very unique way of conceptualizing Acronym's iconic quick lock quick release strap system that can be found on their messenger bags. It looks to be a very robust and intricate strap, and that's because it allows you to interact with the tablet in multiple different ways. For ease of transportation, there is a sling strap mode that enables you to carry it like a messenger bag, or if you prefer something a little more traditional, there's also a briefcase mode, but the most unique one has to be the producer mode that essentially allows you to interact with the tablet in a more hands-free way, or even having to place it on a table. Furthermore, with mobility and on-demand usage in mind, additional rubber feet were also added all over the bag so that in any orientation you will have a more stabilized grip, and the side corners also doubles as bumpers, providing additional drop protection, although you still probably do not want to drop it. While on paper, all of these may seem a little bit too gimmicky, but quoting Phil Saunders himself, Whether you use that or not, it's giving you that opportunity, and that is rewiring your brain into a new way of interacting with a device like this. Comparing it to the previous model, I think this is where we truly begin to see the integration between fashion and technology, which I think opens up a whole new conversation in today's fashion landscape. From either using technology itself to assist in the garment and accessory making process, to just using actual technology pieces to accessorize an outfit, it introduces so many new possibilities, and I think this collaboration helped us reimagine how we perceive garments and accessories. Now, all of these do not come cheap. Retailing at around $2,500 US, it is an absurd amount of money to be asking. But comparing it to the RMT-01, it is actually a much better deal considering that they both retail at the same price. And looking at the RMT-02, with all the accessories that you're getting as well as the specs of the laptop, it is actually a pretty good deal. So for what it's worth, it's actually a much better purchase overall. That is even if you can get your hands on a unit because of how limited they produced worldwide. Finally, just to quickly wrap this whole video up, as a regular consumer, should you be considering to pick it up, assuming you have the excess savings to spend? Ultimately, it is your money, so do with it as you please, but here is my point of view. Hands down, this is made for all the Acronym fans out there, and if you are able to afford it, without a doubt, you will have a ton of fun owning such a unique product. And just like the Kit 1, these laptops will forever be embedded into a special part of the brand's history, as they are something that will never be made again. And as a huge fan of the brand, I think it is really cool to be able to own such a unique piece of the brand's history. But I would say if you are new to the brand, this may not necessarily be the right product for you, especially if your intention is to get into functional wear. Sure, the laptop alongside its accessories can be somewhat used to integrate into your outfits, but to be spending $2,500 just so you could occasionally use them as part of your accessories is a little bit too much in my opinion. And I feel like there are much better ways to be spending your money in terms of building your wardrobe, as you could even look into picking up multiple Acronym pieces. Also, accessories are meant to help elevate your outfit, but if you do not have a well put together outfit in the first place, having such an expensive or unique accessory like this will not do your outfit much justice. Therefore, I would say it really does come down to what is it you're looking for at the end of the day. Hence, I personally would advise picking it up if and only if you do need an actual upgrade or a new laptop to begin with. And even then, it might be more worth it for you depending on how powerful machine you need to get a slightly more mid-range laptop, and with the excess money, get yourself something like a 3A1 or 3A2 if you really do like to get into Acronym. And I feel like this whole entire package would be a little bit more worth it than just picking up the RMT-02 and its accessories that are included with it. Lastly, if you really want to just be part of this collaboration, I would suggest waiting a little more and see how things unfold. If history repeats, we should be getting some new merch release in conjunction with this collaboration, just like last time, and it will cost you way less money to be part of it. And that is everything that I have to say to arguably one of the coolest collaborations that have happened in a very long time. From the product line all the way to the execution and the ambitiousness of it, I just think that it's only going to get crazier from here, and I truly can't wait to see what further unfolds. Just basing it off the design and aesthetic of it, which one do you prefer more, the RMT-01 or the 02? Do let your thoughts be known down below in the comment section, and let's talk about it. If you have watched all the way to the end, thank you so incredibly much, and if you did enjoy it, please do consider to give it a thumbs up. And once again, if you guys are new to the channel or just haven't been subscribed yet, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button down below. It's because of these little things that really does help to push the channel out to a much wider audience. That's all I have for today's video. Please do stay safe out there, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.